right. And then I believe we've got Coleman. You should be able to talk. Any of the generals should be able to talk.
So the question is, are people going to be able to see the screen if you share it?
I am currently sharing it, so you should be able to see it currently.
All right, I'm going to go into general chat. Let me know in general chat how it's looking. Ace can see it. Who else can see the screen? We want to make sure that, is there anybody that cannot, that is in the December 6th AMA and cannot see the screen?
And they'll have to communicate through general chat or something. And I can't see general chat at the same time, so feel free to.
Looks like we're good.
Okay, perfect.
I will keep
and
an
then you
eye
want to
on
click.
it.
Then you want to click watch stream.
Yep, top left corner, click watch stream is where it should show up, and looks like everybody's good. I'm not seeing anybody having problems.
Great. All right, let's kick this thing off. Thanks everybody for showing up. This is a kind of a big announcement day for us. We're excited for, the upcoming launch. We've been anticipating this time for months and months, and for me it's been years, and I'm excited to be able to get close to this date and to share this latest information with you all. That being said, this is being recorded, so if you're having any trouble seeing anything, we will have this posted on YouTube, I believe. Hopefully the recording turns out all right. We haven't ever done a screen sharing version of one of these before, so this is the first time. So first off, I want to just, again, say thank you to everyone in the Legion for all the support that we've had over the last few months. It's been fantastic to get to know you all, to play games with you, to see you all enjoying Warsaken, to see the anticipation that you all have about the launch. We're just generally very excited and hopeful for the future of Warsaken, and it's all because of that community involvement that everyone's been having and the engagement that we've been having there. And again, I'll say this a million times. You'll hear me say humbled all the time. I feel incredibly humbled by all of you in this Discord and the support that we've felt. It's been really amazing. All right. Let's go ahead and get started here. So we have a small announcement on the time change here for the pack sale. So the pack sale is still on December 15th. We originally announced that it was going to be at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are moving that to 3 p.m., which is 11 p.m. UTC, also, I believe, midnight Central European Time. There's a few reasons for that, and we're going to go into all that detail, but just want to make sure you guys are all aware it's launch is happening on the same day, but we are going to be moving to 3 p.m. Now, you may have heard that there is going to be a wax option for pack sale on the 15th. That is true. So if you've heard that from somebody else in the Discord, or if you heard that from one of the generals, we're definitely going to be offering a wax option for sale at pack launch. However,
Brandon, I'm gonna interrupt for a second. Sorry, I am getting people saying that they are getting blocked out, that the stream is full, that it has reached the max number of viewers. I know that causes problems with recording and how many people we have here.
I think we're going to have to just continue on so we can keep sharing. We'll have to post the video and everybody can catch up.
Perfect. Just want to make sure everybody
Yep.
was on board. Sorry.
Yep. And just to clarify, so what I was elaborating on is that we were going to be having a wax option. The shift that we have to announce today that is a bit of a change is that wax is going to be the only option for pack sale. So originally we've been communicating that we will have support for credit and debit cards, and that would be the only way to do the pack sale. We took a dependency on a payment processing provider that we have been working with and in communication with for months. There were some difficulties technically that led to this point where we needed to make a shift, and we had really two options. Should we basically move away from the launch date to support credit card or debit card sales, or should we keep the launch date and move to wax? And with that, that change, we've decided that we're going to go ahead and keep the launch and we're moving to wax. There's obviously been a lot of support for that in our Discord channel. and we're going to be able to deliver on that. And I think it'll be really good for a lot of folks to be able to get our packs for Wax directly on launch day. Obviously, that wasn't the plan, and so what we've had to do as a development team, quite the Herculean effort, quite frankly, to pull together the support for Wax. We've had some shifts in the timeline for all of the things that we were going to be doing post-launch. So we'll get into that in just a moment. Before we go on, though, I want to just say, for those that were really excited to be able to buy with credit cards or debit cards, we are making a strong recommendation that if you are interested in doing that and you have even made preparations to be able to buy with credit cards or debit cards, that you focus on using MoonPay as a buying option. You can get your Wax lots of different places, obviously, but MoonPay is a very well-organized user experience. It's very simple. If you're new to Wax, you only have to have a Wax wallet set up, and then MoonPay can handle the rest. It's very easy for people to onboard into the Wax ecosystem because of MoonPay, and that's why we were working with them directly. Our intent was to bring their new NFT buying product into our space and leverage it. And like I said, that just didn't work out this time. We will eventually be revisiting that, whether depending on how the sale goes, we may continue the Wax option. We'll let you guys know as that develops. But at the moment, MoonPay, if you're looking to get some Wax in order to prepare for the pack sale, please use MoonPay. I think it's a great option. I've used it multiple times. It seems to work really, really well. They may ask you for some more information about your identity, so that, for government reasons in some of those countries, but it is a really good option. And we've seen it be successful in a lot of countries where other buying options don't work. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about timelines. So as of today, we have been cranking on pre-minting. We are at now roughly over 1.6 million assets that have been pre-minted. That is all of the cards that are going in your packs for launch. So we have the packs are going to be minted at the time of purchase and tied to our packs that we're going to be, or tied to our cards that we're going to be filling the packs with. And you will also, the first wave upgrade cards will also be mint on demand. But all of the rest of the assets, the actual cards that are in the packs, will be pre-minted, and most of them are at this point. We are finishing out some of the premium and ultra premium cards, and we will have that wrapped long before pack launch. Now, there are some updates that we've had to make to our timeline because of the shift to Wax. So you can kind of think about it like blocks in sequence. We needed to shove all of the blocks down a little bit to make room for a new block, which was the payment processor that we weren't anticipating to have to build. So it's kind of shifted some things around. The first wave upgrades, those cards going for sale, the upgrade go live, pack opening, and passive staking. So let me just talk a little bit about these dates more specifically. So the first thing is December 18th, we will have the first wave upgrade cards go on sale. That is after pack launch. And then later that day, upgrading will go live. So all of the people who are in the first wave group, they will be getting their cards long before this. But for those who go and buy their first wave upgrade cards on the 18th, later that day, upgrading will go live and everybody will be able to go and use it. December 22nd for pack opening is exactly 1 week from the pack sale. We anticipate that we can pull this date in a little bit. We aren't sure exactly how much we can pull it in from that, so we will keep communicating. And by December 14th, we will have an exact day that we can pin on the calendar for when pack opening will happen. It will not be longer than December 22nd. The other thing about passive staking, so we anticipated having passive staking done at the time of launch. And if I had to pin one thing that really got hurt by this shift in time, it's the passive staking. So the passive staking go live date is now 2 weeks after pack opening. This is a much more rough date. There's a little bit more ambiguity in finalizing that product. And so we want to make sure that it's buttoned up nice and tight for everybody and that there are no issues with it and it works as expected. And In order to do that, we are anticipating that we can have all of that wrapped on January 5th. There's a possibility that we could pull it in. There's a possibility it might slip a couple of days, but we will be pretty close to the 5th for delivering that feature. Okay. Next section. So we are going to talk a little bit about buy limits. Buy limits had been communicated in Discord to a few folks. I'm not sure how well the message got out, so we wanted to make sure that it was something that everybody could kind of see here. For booster packs, you will be able to buy 15 at a time. For the elite packs, you'll be able to buy 7 at a time. And for the premium packs, you will be able to buy 3 at a time. The only change from what was communicated in Discord was there is going to be a limit on first waves that's a little lower than we originally anticipated. So you'll only be able to get 25 at a time. And I think that'll help pace that out. We anticipate that the first wave cards, quite frankly, are going to last a bit. We hoped that they would last the whole year. I think that's probably optimistic thinking in my mind. I think that people are going to go after them, but we are hopeful that they will last a little bit longer. So we expect that there's plenty of time to get those. The other thing is that all of these will come with a cooldown. So once you buy, you'll have a cooldown for a period of time before you can go back and buy again at these same limits. This also more specifically means you can only buy one of these at a time. So you have to pick between booster, elite, premium, and first wave when all of those are active, if they're all active at the same time. We may sell out of packs before first wave goes live. If that's the case, then you'll only have to pick between the others. The limit will be reached once if you buy all of those, you'll hit the limit. You'll go into cooldown after your purchase, and then you can come back and buy a different pack after that, and you can keep going back and forth through the system. So let's talk about pricing. So I assume everybody's kind of curious about how the prices will shake out. So I'm not going to give any specific prices because we don't quite know them yet. But we do want to talk about our plan and strategy for the pricing. So prices will be based on the rolling average of WAX to USD leading into the launch. And so we'll publish the final price on each day. So the price, assuming that we have packs for multiple days, and definitely on the first day, obviously, we will have a price, and that price will be locked for that day. So there won't be any shifts in that price. So we can guarantee that those are going to be the prices you'll pay for the packs. There is going to be a transaction fee. So we've built this entire payment system. It's been kind of a challenge for us. But the reality is we are going to be looking at trying to transfer, obviously, a lot of our WAX into USD so that we can turn that into operating costs to cover some of the developers that we want to bring on board to expand the development team, to really reinvest back into Warsaken. And in order to do that, we're going to be paying a lot of those transaction fees. And so we're passing some of that cost on to you. It's very likely that this is actually less than what you would have had to pay for your transaction fees using something like MoonPay or another credit card system that we had looked at as backup options. In addition, there won't be any sales tax for those that might be stuck in the United States. You don't have to pay sales tax on these kind of transactions. All right, now let's talk about some other stuff now that we've kind of covered the packs. First wave members, starting today, you will begin receiving your first wave cards. You will get them based on what we described from the get-go, which is that first wave A will get 2 first wave cards, and first wave B will get 1 first wave card. We will also be doing giveaways for these throughout the time leading up to launch. So there will be some that will be given out in Sergeant First Class, as well as just in general giveaways. But you are guaranteed, if you are a first wave A member, you are guaranteed one of these. And if you are a first wave B member, you're guaranteed one of these. If you are a first wave A member, you are guaranteed 2 of these. So if you are in one of those groups, we have posted some links in Discord for the first waivers to go fill out a form so that we can make sure that you get your first wave upgrade cards. And those, like I said, those start today. So feel free to reach out to that form and fill it out so we can start getting those in your hands. The next thing we wanted to kind of announce, we are doing some big advertising on Atomic Hub specifically. Starting on Saturday, December 11th, we will be placed in both slots on Atomic Hub for 5 days straight. We will be leading straight into launch with that, and we will have effectively a site takeover on their homepage for that time. This is all locked. We have purchased this advertising, and we're excited that it's going to drive a lot of new members and new excitement to the space. It was not cheap to get this kind of advertising, and we're excited that it's going to drive a lot of folks to the Discord. And so one of the things that we'll be hoping that everyone can do with these big ad buys, we have a huge influx of members that join. And what we need is for our first waivers especially to kind of step up and help answer questions. The mods will do the best they can, obviously, and the generals will do that as well. But we are going to have a lot of new people, and we're going to try and answer as many questions as we can for them as they come in and look about the project and want to know more. Okay, next. So we have some updates to the loot payout table. So as we've gotten closer to finalizing staking, we have some thoughts on making sure that basically we're incentivizing the right folks in the way that people want to get their loot and their XP. In order to make sure that folks are getting kind of like the right amount of loot, we've tweaked some of the lower levels to decrease the amount of payout that they're getting by a little bit. Not a lot of loot, to be quite frank. And in the upper ranks, we've increased some of those, so you're actually getting more loot in those cases. One of the new requirements that we're going to be adding is that at rank 2, you need to own 2 premium cards in order to get the loot. At rank 3, you need to own 3, and at rank 4, you need to own 5, and that will be the last point that would be a change to the existing table. So go and check those out on warsaken.com/loot if you have any questions. Obviously, feel free to reach out to the mods or any of the generals, and we are more than happy to go over some of the details there. But basically, the hope for this is to try and make sure that loot is really the claiming process and the amount that is paid out really produces a very stable token. Let's see, Dan and Matt, is there anything you guys want to add to any of what's been said so far?
I just want to let the Legion know we've spent a lot of time on this over the last week, meeting upon meeting to make sure that we're providing the best experience to you. And that's where some of these changes came to make sure not only the longevity of Warsaken, but making sure the longevity of your excitement around Warsaken. So a lot of time put into this and a lot of back and forth to make sure it was right for everybody.
Yeah. Daniel?
Yeah, I was going to add, even though we had to make a lot of changes, kind of new work, new strategy, I think everything is working really well. Like I'm very happy with the experience. The upgrade experience, we ran it last night. We actually went through the full upgrade on some cards. You guys are going to see those soon. They're really excited. And the purchase flow is working really, really well. We're going to have a cooldown to make sure that everybody gets some packs. So a lot of good things are coming out of these changes.
Yeah, speaking of the upgrades, so we did do a little bit of upgrading last night with the real system. It's complete, fully complete. It's not yet live for everybody. We've turned the API off effectively for doing this, but we did mint some cards through upgrading, and we actually have the #1 mint of Bella Ivanova for each of the different upgradability levels, and we are going to be giving those away tonight, right after the AMA. So stick around right afterwards. We will be distributing those as quickly as possible. Okay. Any other questions? I think that's the main thing. What questions do we have from the Legion? And also we've got an announcement about a new member of the team as well. Daniel, I don't know if you've got some questions you want to pull out from the general chat, or if we want to talk about the new member.
Let's mention our new Lieutenant General, and then we'll go into the general chat, and I'll try to get as many questions as we can.
Sounds good. Go for it.
We have a new Lieutenant General who's going to be our social media social media manager. You'll see her. She's already listed there, Nika Devon, and you'll see her in Discord somewhat. She'll also be very busy on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, some YouTube. So welcome her, and she'll also be around to help answer questions and do everything else as we get rolling. But yeah, let's jump into some questions. I'll ask them, and then whoever on the board wants to jump in can answer them.
Sounds good.
Will the black camos count as premium with this new table?
Yes, they will, but not until after Blitz is launched. We may be able to pull that in tighter. I don't want to make any promises, but we are trying to make sure that all of those cards do count as premium, and they will count as premium in the future. It's just a matter of when. So I think and we've kind of said that on multiple occasions. That plan hasn't changed at all.
What is the cooldown between pack buys?
I know that everybody wants to know that. I don't think we haven't solidified it completely yet. And Dan, if you're still on the call, feel free to jump in if you want to add any more level of granularity. I know that we will be under an hour for sure.
Yeah, and so I think what we'll see is there will both be random number generator and cooldown. And those are two levers we're going to be pulling throughout the day. It's part of the reason of us changing the time slot is so that we can watch those numbers carefully, make sure that people are able to get the packs, even if they're only buying one, try to stop farmers and bots from picking up too much. And so we're going to be, throttling those numbers. In terms of scalability, this is not unlike a credit card transaction, we could, in theory, mathematically sell out of the entire set, like in minutes, and scale okay to that. So this is really about making sure that everyone gets a fair shot, and making sure that the sales can last enough time so that people who are not online at that exact time are still going to get a shot. So a lot of variables coming in. We'll be pulling those levers. We'll see if we can get a countdown timer. I think that would be nice for you to be able to see what the cooldown is. But in any case, you will know what the cooldown is when you're told that you're on cooldown.
Yeah, and I think I just want to reiterate what you just said. We have the ability to pull the levers so that everybody could just buy and they'd all be gone. What we want to do is try and look out for those that have slower internet connections, those that are in different parts of the world and different time zones. We're really trying to be fair in the way that we're distributing the packs, and facilitating that, definitely it requires some of these mechanisms to be in place. And while that may not be the buying experience that everybody wants, at least those that want packs, everybody's able to have a good shot at getting them. And I think that's really, really important to us.
Great. I think that's the most that the Legion has heard Dan talk. So that was a little bit of a fresh air for us.
We don't let him out much. The dev team has to stay.
Sometime in January I'll be able to come up for air and maybe play a game or something.
So the next question is, will the sale be in waves? I think that was mostly just answered. All the packs will be available. What we're going to throttle is basically what they said. People coming in and being able to get them there.
Yep.
Let's see what the next question is. How many packs are purchased? Okay, we answered that in the AMA. Can I buy a booster and a premium pack at the same time?
The answer is no.
And you have to pick one or the other, go in and buy, and then get back in line, or come back out to the shop and try and get more. The limit on upgrade cards is 25. Question: Blitz launch is not delayed, right? Because of this?
No, it is. And I just want to call that out. That's a good question, because I think that's probably the one that's going to hurt the most to me personally. But as we will try to make up some of this time. I'm going to be really clear about that. The more developers we can afford to get on this, we will pull as many as the talented. Dan and I have access to many very qualified developers, and we are excited to be able to pull them in. We've got some of them already working on the project, but we want to be able to hire them, and that is going to require some capital. And so that's coming from pack sales to be able to improve the speed at which we develop. So if we want to be able to pull Blitz in, if we can pull Blitz in, it'll be because we get on top of it and we pull some new developers in. But as of right now, that pushing those blocks down the road to make room for some of this stuff up front kind of had a cascading effect. Again, we will be opportunistically trying to do better than what we've promised publicly today. But the reality is that we're big fans of over delivering and under promising. So if there's anything I can say, it's that these are the dates we're trying really hard to make sure that we can hit. But we will opportunistically try and pull them in as we can. But Blitz will be delayed. And I guess maybe I could add to that more specifically. So we said 2 months after pack launch. I think it'll be 2 months after staking.
Perfect. Good thing you added that because I was muted and I was talking to myself for a second there. Next question. The 4% fee will also be applied on wax sales?
The 4.5% fee is for all sales, and it is for wax specifically because all sales are in wax.
So yeah, that's something to reiterate. We are not going to have a credit card option. If you want to hear the explanation of that, you can listen back to the replay of the AMA.
Yep.
With the sale being a wax sale only now and many issues of whitelist problems and whale accounts with unlimited wax, it seems, will there be any help for supporters of the project who have been here and strong with the project? If someone is having problems with getting the wax in a week, is there a plan to help those who can't buy now?
So part of the reason that we're making this announcement today is so that you have a week and a half to get your wax that you want to be able to use for the sale. We're recommending MoonPay because we believe it works in many countries that typically have challenges purchasing wax. If there are folks that are struggling, I'm going to leave that kind of in Daniel's role, Daniel Coleman's role, to coordinate with folks on finding the best option for them to be able to get the wax that they need.
Yeah, that's something I've dealt with a lot. Is I've been in wax a long time, and I do live in the U.S. Outside the U.S., it's actually a lot easier to get wax. Inside the U.S., it's more tricky. And so I will be around and trying to help people figure out how to get it in. We were in a meeting late last night. It was midnight by the time. It was after midnight by the time we were done chatting with these final numbers and making sure that this was the way to go. And I want to give a shout out to the dev team who has really stepped up just to even get wax as an option, because it was either push back the sale by 2 months or go with wax only. And it is easier for people to go from, if you have one option and you're only locked in. We have a lot of people who were not going to be able to pay with credit card, but will be able to get in now that it is wax.
Yeah.
And I know it's a hassle, but almost everybody can get from credit or debit card into wax. I know it's going to be tricky, and I'll be here to give some advice, like I said, as we get closer.
And again, I would just reiterate, MoonPay is like a global provider. They have access in most countries, if not all countries, that are able to buy crypto at all. I would highly recommend, if you haven't looked at MoonPay, go talk to them. They're a very upstanding company. They've done really good with us to try and support us in this effort. We just came up a little short with them, and it's not unheard of to have these kinds of delays. And when we took a dependency on them, I knew it was going to be a little bit of a challenge if they didn't bring their end. And it's okay. Like we're making some changes and we're adapting. And going forward in the future, credit cards very well will be an option we're considering still. We will see how this sale goes, and there are options for us in the future. I will say that subscriptions will likely be credit cards specifically, and we'll be digging in on that in the future as well. So there's a lot of different angles to think about in this as we make this change now.
Great. Next question, will the number of packages decrease or stay as they are now? So the number of packs we're selling is the same number as always been. We calculated our mint numbers and the numbers you see on all the premium cards based on how many packs there would be. I think that's what the question is referring to, and so that's staying the same. The initial pack sale is 1/3 of our packs, and the other 2/3 will be selling in our monthly sales, which will start in February. And we've always said all along there will be no whitelist for our initial launch, but we may implement something on those launches as we go to reward people in our Discord. And since it will be lower numbers each month that are selling, we have options there which we haven't decided or told anyone about yet.
Look, we're adaptable. We're going to make sure that we're doing the best that we can to roll with the punches as they come. If we find that after doing the pack launch for wax that there were some hiccups or issues that we needed to overcome, or changes that we feel like we need to make based on the way people are buying, or if there's something that we feel like we want to do to try and support, more little guys getting access to the packs, we'll be considering those and trying to balance all of the variables in that massive equation.
Excellent. I want to also mention that if you're more savvy with cryptos, you can get wax on a number of exchanges, no matter where in the world you live. So I use Bittrex. That's a really good option for me. But if you just want to go get your credit card, swipe it, and get wax, then that's why we're saying MoonPay. If you're not more savvy.
Yeah, MoonPay is a very good UX. It's the user experience of MoonPay is quick, it's simple, and they may ask you for some more information, just like any other exchange would. But once it's set up, I mean, you can pretty well get wax at the snap of a finger. And I'm confident that they're going to make it even easier as they go to try and lower. If you're buying a certain amount or under a certain amount, you may not even have to do some of those verifications and stuff. And I think you'll see some of that get lit up over the next, couple of months.
Yeah. Chris V says he can help people get wax. Shizba says crypto.com for US users. I do want to point out that you should not trade with anybody you don't know. Don't click on any links like here. There are scammers. There are scammers in our Discord. There's scammers in every Discord. So you can take advice from people, especially if it's in a public forum where other people can step in. But don't click on links that are in our Discord. Don't click on, especially in DMs. Be careful as you are moving forward and trying to get wax and move things around. All right, next question. Ace asked, the transaction fee is already added to the price, or will be added at the end of checkout?
It will be into the price. It will be into the price. It's not going to be an add. We're going to take the rolling average. We're going to add the transaction fee. We're going to process that into a price tag on wax that looks more like a retail price, and that's it. So meaning we'll round the numbers a little bit, but other than that.
What is meant by RNG for buying packs on the drop? Does this mean if we click buy, it might not go through? Really good question.
Yeah, so basically, it's going to be a little similar to the way Redeem works, although it's going to be more robust, is that you will queue, you'll have a queue event in order to have an opportunity to purchase. And if there will be a range check on that, if you fail, then you can try again in some number of minutes. And then if you succeed, you will be taken to the store where you can, you have a certain amount of time to add to your cart. And once it's in your cart, and that is a blockchain transaction, then you have time to complete the sale through our UI. So you won't be like sending wax to us and then it fails, a check. That won't happen. You won't be able to add to your cart until you pass the check.
Yep. Great question.
Yeah. Someone else asked about if they could see an example of how it's going to cost or how it's going to go with the prices and the pack limits. We've already said the pack limits, but again, I just want to iterate that we are going to have the price in wax available before the sale, the day before the sale, I believe is what you said, correct, Brendan?
Yeah. So basically, like 12 hours before the sale, we'll have a locked price. I think we said 12 hours last night. I can't remember what we finally agreed on, but I think. Basically, just before we go live with the actual price, you'll have a locked price. We'll make an announcement prior to that so that everybody knows what the prices are going to be for the actual launch day. And just to hint at this, like if packs are still available after the first day or after the third day or whatever, however many packs are on the market each day, including between the first wave cards or anything, any inventory that's still on the market. At the beginning of that day, we'll set the price.
All right. So I'm going to ask the second half of this question because we've kind of gone over the first. How long is your purchase timer once your place in the queue is up? So I think that's asking about a cooldown. And again, we have not figured out or announced the numbers of the cooldown time at this point.
I think the key answer is that it's going to be slightly variable. We're going to start with a higher cooldown, and if things are going smoothly with the purchase process, we may dial it up. it is possible to put, crank it really high and let everybody go through as quick as they can. So we'll see how things go. But I don't think we'll scale. I don't think we need to scale that high right away. I think we want to see how things go, and we want people to have lots of opportunity to get in and buy their packs.
You will be able to buy the maximum up to the pack limit with each purchase. So if you go in and what you want versus premium, then you can buy your 3 premiums there. If you get into the store, buy it, and then go back out and come back in if you want to buy some more. Next question, another really good one, especially since our dev lead is here. When will pack rarity percentages be posted?
Close to launch.
Yeah, it's going to be close to launch. So basically, what we're doing that I think is unique from what you've been used to is that we are pre-rolling before sale all the packs. And so this is more akin to the industry we're from, which is the physical card game, where you go into a store and you purchase a pack. It's already been determined what is in it, and then you purchase it and you open it. And so once we have all millions of cards here assigned to every single pack, we will know the exact odds. So like if there's 10,000 packs and there's one of a card, we will know that the odds are 1 out of 10,000 for that specific card. So the odds will be, we don't want to publish odds until they are 100% accurate. And unfortunately, that's going to be closer to launch, but you will know that number before you purchase.
And just to, I think, add to that, to maybe give some clarity on why it's going to be close, is that the last thing that we're trying to wrap up is just finishing the packs themselves, like getting the packs packed, finishing the pre-minting. We're close on that as is, but just like getting all of the packs ready for sale. And so we won't have those final numbers until we're really close. But that's the last thing basically that we're working on. The last big thing for pack launch.
Awesome, really good questions. If you do have questions, you can ask them in general chat, and I'm going through them. The next one is, if your address gets blacklisted from taking giveaways, it will be blacklisted to get packs too.
Yes. And
so if you have any, go ahead.
I'm just gonna add to that. If you've been blacklisted over the course of the last 2 months while we've been distributing free NFTs, you probably deserved it. And if you didn't deserve it, you DM'd one of us generals, and we have worked to keep you off the blacklist and make sure that you don't ever get added again. So the reality for folks is that we have a lot of sophisticated technology that's looking at the transactions and the distributions, and the farmers are constantly trying to get around that, and it is a game of whack-a-mole. But the blacklist has been arguably kind of a secret project this whole time, developing that list of all the people who are farming and scheming and saying that they're they're taking a lot of extra cards that belong to other people. We've been building that blacklist so that when pack sale happens, you will not be able to purchase. And that is something that I want to make sure is coming through really strongly. Now, if you're worried about that and you haven't been able to claim, there's a couple of things you can think about. Have you just think about the way that we've had these conversations with many of you in the past. Is your CPU or your net maxed out on your account? Do you have any issues with your browser using Brave, because Brave doesn't seem to support our redemption process? Have you claimed in the last day or two? Like, there is a possibility that you basically RNG into not getting a prize. The other thing would be, are you sure you've been typing in the claim codes correctly? We get a lot of people who actually type them incorrectly. There's people who will tell me till they're blue in the face that they typed the thing incorrectly. We can actually pull up the account and look at exactly what they typed in, and I can tell them that they typed it in wrong. So the reality is that if you've been claiming, you're good. If you've been farming, we aren't wanting to necessarily throw those packs your way right now.
Great answer. Any other comments from the rest of the team before I move on to the next one?
No.
Okay. This one's a pretty quick answer, but I think it's worth answering again, even though we've alluded to it. So do you have to retry RNG every time you want to buy a different type of pack?
Yeah, every time you want to buy a different type of pack, you have to try and go back in to buy.
And there will be some sort of cooldown, which as the sale progressive will probably get shorter.
Yeah, the hope is that it'll get shorter. We'll be monitoring it very closely that day.
We have a lot of packs to sell, and so we're going to try to aggressively get that down to something where you can sit at your computer for a while and get a few tries. So
someone says, I think many credit card companies won't work with MoonPay. I know debit cards work much better with MoonPay than credit cards do. That's just a tip, but stick around the Discord and we will be trying to help people as much as we can to get the wax. Do we want to take questions on COD? They're asking about codes.
If Dan gives me the all clear, I will drop a code right after this AMA. We try not to drop codes at the same time we're pre-minting for those that might wonder.
Yeah, so just so you guys know what my life is like, I've minted 22,000 cards since we've been talking. What I've been minting, by the way, is I've been minting first wave cards, and so we have now in inventory the ability to give out to the first wave cards to the people that we had already planned on giving those out. I've stopped minting, so I'm sure that we have some CPU left for a giveaway today. And then also, we have these like really hot mint #1 Bella cards.
Oh man, they look so good, don't they?
Oh, they do. Gosh. Oh my gosh, so hot. So yeah, I mean, by the way, I'll tell you this, like this job is so crazy fun because I'm minting the cards in reverse order of rarity. So I spent weeks minting the really kind of base cards, the full art cards, and now I'm minting the really awesome cards. And so like every day that I'm minting the premium cards, I'm about to get to the ultra premium cards. They are amazing. But those Fireforge cards, those are really good looking cards. Yeah. So
we're excited about them.
Just too bad I don't get to keep any of them. I just mint them and give them to
other people.
To Brandon, and boy, he gives stuff away like you wouldn't believe. So sometimes I have to tell him, can you please give away a little less for a little period of time? But these cards are awesome.
I have one thing to say to that, and that's wait until after pack sale. I'm going to give away more. There's more. Yep. There's more wax drops coming. There's definitely going to be some really great improvements to the way that we're distributing cards currently. We've got the claim code still. We'll have giveaways. We're not going to be doing them daily, but we're definitely going to still be doing lots of stuff to give back to the community.
Yeah, we'll still have parties, all kinds of fun stuff.
I was waiting to hear your voice, Matt, and I'm not surprised that it was when we started talking about parties that you packed up.
Look, anything that allows me to make more gifts, right? I just love, more gifts.
Do we have any more questions, or should we call it and wrap it?
Let's go 4 more minutes. So at 4:50 p.m. we'll ask the last question. Madrino asked, will the prices be displayed in wax instead of dollars on the digital page?
They will.
Yes, you will see that. It'll be at least 12 hours before the launch that you'll see the official sale price in wax. Grevinator wants to know if he can add a few people to the blacklist so we can take their cards.
It sounds like Grevinator. I assume him and Cybergrinder are working together to like stop each other from having access to any card.
What if someone is really unlucky and they don't get in?
So if you don't get in, come see me and we'll talk about it. I don't think that's going to be the case, but we will have monthly pack sales going forward. And those monthly pack sales, we always have the option to try and distribute those in different unique ways. So if we need to, we can carve off a few packs for some special giveaways in the future.
Yeah, I want to point out, like, anyone in the Discord who's ever dealt with any of the generals would probably straight up say we are very fair with people. So just because we're launching packs, just because pack sales are going to happen isn't going to change that. So if something happened to somebody or something unforeseen, we're going to be fair about it. So you've all dealt with Brandon, mine, or Daniel's fairness about making sure everyone's happy and things happen in a manner that people feel good about.
That's
so I
a
just want
that's
to throw
a
that out
yeah,
there.
that's a good point. That's a culture thing. Like we just believe in being fair and helping others. So I think the reality is we're trying to do what we can. So if you come talk,
To add to that,
yeah.
I just want to add to that, Brandon, is that the community has been incredibly supportive of each other through this.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so, I'm sure there's people on here right now who are going to be able to snag, like 7 packs, 8 packs, and then just like fairly, trade it to someone for the price they paid for it. Like I would expect that this community is a community that's not going to try to gouge everyone. And if someone
Yeah.
got treated unfairly, to not take advantage of that. So I'm hoping that we'll see that in the community. Are there going to be some people who just suck? Yeah, they're gonna get through. Unfortunately, that's the nature of the business. But the ability to throttle both the timeout and the range gives us a really fine control to go after whatever technique is being used by the farmers. And so we have actually been doing this all along, changing the range, changing the cooldowns, testing this. And so we think we found the sweet spot, that we get the least number of farmers. Plus, we've been getting a hold of all of their accounts. And so we have a good idea who the really bad people are. And, I have a second list, which is like, these people, are never going to get through
Anything.
through me again. So like I am running scripts on these people. Yeah. So
the revenge of Dan.
yeah. And
they don't know how powerful
look,
you are, man.
yeah, and look, I give a lot of leeway to people, honestly. Like I don't feel good about running some code and seeing what someone's been doing on the chain. If it looks innocent, I pass over it. I'm talking about farmers with hundreds of accounts. Those are the really notorious people. And they get added very quickly. And so that's where we got to stretch out the time to make sure that they can't burst on us. And then also just to give everyone a fair chance. But again, I would just tell the community knows how to look on the blockchain and see like, yeah, it looks like you kind of are not in a great situation. We're going to go ahead and help you out. So,
and we've seen that.
Thank you. I mean, this is,
we've seen that
so many times. Yeah.
Yeah. It's impressive. Yeah. It's like, I've said the word humbling already a couple of times, but like, it's incredibly humbling to see people caring for people like the way I've seen the Legion, and it is impressive, and it's it's the kind of stuff that makes you go home and rethink like everything you do and everyone you talk to and how you treat everyone, and it's impactful and it's impressive, and I want to tell the Legion, we look up to you. Like this the attitude that I've seen around people coming together in some of these moments of crisis that have come up in people's lives. It's touching, and we've tried to help out as much as we can. And I know that the community has helped even more. And it's been wonderful to be a part of this community.
Agreed.
I'm going to echo what the other general said about the community 100%, and also our philosophy on trying to be fair and trying to be as helpful as we can. I will kind of go counter to some of the comments that were made. I think that everything may sell out very quickly and there may be people left on the outside, and no one has said that there isn't. We have no way to know how it's going to go, but every step along the way we've talked about how does this help the little person living in such and such a country who just wants to get a few packs. How does this affect the whales who have already spent thousands of dollars on our account and want to support it? Like, we've looked at it from every angle, and we're doing everything we can with the pack limits being where they should. And the main thing we said in one of our very first meetings, we want everybody to be able to play the game, which is why we couldn't set the pack limit at 1 pack each per person, because we got to get cards out there, we got to get in people's hands, and more than just a couple cards here and there, which is the reason why we're going to have the subscription at an affordable price, and we're going to have monthly sales, which will most likely, if we sell out quick and there are people on the outside, we will have most likely some sort of whitelist or some sort of requirements to get in. So we are looking at and trying to look out for everybody. There's going to be some people who want to get in and just aren't able to with the sale, but we're doing the best we can to spread that out as much as possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Two more quick questions. Will there be beta tests for Blitz?
When we get closer, I think there probably will be, but I also think that we're going to be a little bit careful about who we let in to interact with that until it's good. Like, as an example, we have Tabletopia right now as an experience that is not as good. And if you felt that as your first experience and you were frustrated, that's not what Warsaken's going to be. And so I want to make sure that beta testing, often has some bugs. We'll be very cautious about who comes into that circle, but we will definitely have some folks that need to try it.
Awesome. And I'm glad you mentioned Tabletopia because that takes us to our last question. Tagaske, who has been very generous and is one of those Legion members you guys have talked about that just inspires. So shout out to him.
Absolutely.
The question is, how many guys or girls have beaten Brandon on Tabletopia?
I don't keep track of that number.
Oh my gosh, the very first time I played, I was like one turn away from beating Brandon, and I just couldn't do it. It was so frustrating.
I currently have never been beat on Tabletopia.
Oh,
part of that's because I choose not to play people to stay unbeaten on Tabletopia. But no, just kidding. I'll play anybody. It's fun.
I will say I am going to be really strapped for time this week and next week as we lead into pack launch, and I know you all know that, but I have one promised game that I am going to fulfill, which is I promised Ultra Deck that I would play with him before we get to pack launch, and I'm going to make good on that promise. I still have to put the Emperor Shang Li deck into Tabletopia so that we can play with that, but I will. I'll make sure that we stream that in Discord so folks can see it. And other than that, I'm going to be probably taking games after pack launch, but I am going to make sure I get that last one in for sure.
I can't tell people enough. Once Blitz out, we're going to be playing anyone in the Discord who wants to play.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Once all that gets launched, we'll have a hard time getting things done because we'll just want to play everybody all the time.
The generals just stop doing work because all we want to do is play games. Forsaken.
They'll be like, "How's set 2 coming?" What? No.
Set 2.
Blitz. Let's go. What is that?
We can
so Brandon, your comments are the perfect segue into my closing thoughts, and then we can just go down the table and everyone can give theirs. I will be in the Discord. I'll be around trying to answer some questions, so I'll be there. But I want to say two things very important. As Brandon mentioned, we are all very much heads down. We're in meetings multiple times a day with each other and with other companies. We met with Atomic Hub this morning. We've been if you can avoid DMing us or tagging us unnecessarily this week, that would be great. Reach out to our mods. They've been so awesome, and we want to give them a shout out. They're super helpful. If there is something they can't handle, they will come to us. I probably won't be in my DMs much, so don't be offended if I don't get to you. And then the other thing is, please do not get scammed this week. There's going to be people offering you wax to trade for money. There's going to be fake collections coming up on Atomic Hub that look like Warsaken. If you don't see Warsaken with the orange check mark, do not buy those assets. People will take copies of our NFTs. There's going to be 100 new scams, things we've never even heard of. So just be very careful. Ask in a public forum or ask one of our mods if there's something, if it looks too good to be true, or if it's suspicious. Then just be very careful. And that's it. Appreciate you guys being here, and we'll pass it to each of the other generals to make their final statements.
Yeah, just to tag one last little bit onto that. I think that, if there are some of those situations that come up with that an attempt at fraudulent activity. So our collection name Warsaken and our account Warsaken are the only official accounts and collections that you should be interacting with in terms of getting getting assets or looking at template IDs for assets. In addition, we have some other accounts, like we have our pre-mint account where all of our pre-mints are going. We've had some development testing accounts. Those aren't like whitelisted or anything per se. So, but if you're not interacting with Warsaken with the double check mark or with the orange check mark, depending on which market you're buying in, then you're not dealing with a Warsaken asset. And so Warsaken.cards, Warsaken.com are the only two domains where you should be interacting with something. We have a content delivery network that hosts all the images as well, which is Warsaken with all the variables removed.io. But other than that, there isn't any other property that you should be trusting. So don't log in to something that looks like Warsaken unless it's warsaken.com or warsaken.cards. And you shouldn't need to log in on anything else in relation to Warsaken. So just to reiterate what Daniel said, be very cautious and be careful. We would hate for anybody to think that they're getting something that's a steal of a deal and find out that it's a fake.
Matt and Dan, you guys want to jump in and add anything?
No, I'm just excited for launch and excited for everyone to get in there and get some cards. Again, our goal is hopefully everyone has a chance to at least get a pack. We'll see how that goes. Again, I think this is going to sell very quickly. It's such an amazing game. But again, we are excited to have had you guys this whole way since we started on the Discord and started chatting with you about the game. We are so excited to hit this point and that you all have walked along with us to get here. Very excited.
Yeah, and as I was going to say, you might have noticed that I'm not on Discord very often, and I probably won't be for the next week and a half for the same reason that I haven't been online, which is, I'm really busy, like working with Brandon, really fine tuning this, polishing this, getting this to be something we are incredibly proud of. And this isn't like some kind of money grab for us. This is a passion project for all of us. This is this is what we want to be doing with our lives and sharing that with you. But I can say, I do hop on Discord. I do keep an eye on things stealthily. And just thank you. What an amazing community. Just so encouraged. If I have a hard day where, the approach I took to something failed and I got to rethink the approach, purchasing, just hopping on Discord, seeing everyone, just really encouraging. And from a technical standpoint, I think all the big hurdles we've overcome them. We did upgrading last night. I've had test purchasing already up and running. So now it's just getting those packs ready for you. So pretty excited to get this out in your hands.
Legion, thank you so much for coming tonight. Thank you for listening to us. We'll post this video so everybody has a chance to watch it in its entirety. Questions will be answered in Discord if we have further follow-ups, and we look forward to seeing you, and we look forward to pack launch. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
See you later.